What's up, YouTube? We're here to have some fun. I think I figured out the microphone too. I am using the microphone I wanted to use last time. So this is our second one of this series going live on YouTube, Lunch with Chris. I'm gonna get into some details in a minute because I'm gonna tell you a story, and I'll tell you why you see somebody walking by occasionally. This one's personal, so please protect the innocent. Years ago, I was in a situation working and reporting to my father. And in the context of that role and the way that I was living, without even really being aware, I'd started to compromise some things. And in that compromising, I could look at myself and say, oh no, I've become a worse version of who I am in this. And it was like a punch to the jaw. See, that's what happens when you're in environments without awareness. Those environments are having a much greater shaping influence on you than you realize. Welcome to YouTube Live, Lunch with Chris, founder of SightShift, crazy passionate about how leaders grow and develop. And what we're doing in this series for the next couple of sessions, next two after this one, we're breaking down a show that is on Amazon Prime, Jury Duty, called Company Theater. It's season 2. And the whole premise of the show is there's a cast of people put together, and there's one person who doesn't know that it's just all made up. So all the antics that are playing out are in the context of this one person's reactions as he's seeing all this play out. His name's Anthony. Now, there are 3 moments from the first 3 episodes that I thought stood out in an incredible way for what we're going to talk about it. So let me just break this down for you real quick. One, and I love the format of this, by the way. So we're going to do some Q&A at the end. It can be anything to the topic, or it can be wide open, not related to the topic. We may have guests pop in. A couple times you've seen Mark, our operations director, walk by. This is a good time. We're here to have fun.
I'm having my lunch.
There you go. Mark's having lunch. It is Lunch with Chris, guys. It was a rush today, so I've got a smoothie here. I've got a yogurt. It is what it is, and I'll get to that in a sec. So, funniest thing, these moments that came out of this show. The first moment I want to talk about is Douggee Jr. This is perfect. The dad was going to sell to a PE company. I think it was a PE company, but decided to pass it off to his son. Opening shot, his son gets out of a car, blows a vape smoke out his nose. He had a failed ska Jamaican band or something. Great writing, because while it may not be that cartoonish, in all the organizations we've worked with succession planning, when it's father to son, daughter to son, mother to son, whatever, it is such a real, palpable, felt feeling of, do they have what it takes? So you see that at work here. Now, here's what's interesting to me about Douggee, the son. He innovates a new sauce because it's a company that's all about hot sauces, basically. And everybody loves it, only to find out he put Taco Bell sauce in it. And here's the idea. Out of Dougie's insecurity, trying to prove what he's about, how he can run the show and lead and take care of the company, he shortcuts and does something terrible. It's not a real product. They can get sued, all this crazy stuff. So I want you to see real quick how what this moment is doing for Douggee is it's forming him. It's shaping him. Second moment from the show that I thought would be great for us to talk about. This one was huge. One of the main characters, I think he's like the operations officer, proposes to a woman that they'd never even been on a date. So you can picture like inner office dynamics here. And she lingers in his office, hangs out a little bit, says positive things, never meaning it in the way that he's receiving it. And then he overreads, he misreads into that moment. What? So they don't have a Coldplay concert in their future. But what happens in this awkwardness of the show is he proposes in front of everybody and she rejects him and he's out of there. He's out of there. Now, here's what's crazy. Again, when your office environment, when you're not aware, it's dominated by validation. So we lead for impact or validation. When it's dominated by validation, spoiler alert, many are, then you have all kinds of proving and hiding. So you got Dougie proving, and he's trying to show up, and he puts Taco Bell sauce in the sauce and all the negative that comes from that. And then you've got this person that out of this insecurity, hiding from squaring up with reality and facing what's obvious. She ain't into you, man. She don't like you. You're mixing signals. Third moment, I got to talk about this one. The corporate seminars. This one was painful for me. This one was so painful. So what year is it? 2026. I've been doing SightShift full time, 10 or 11 years. Actually, started it before that as a company in 2012. Before that was doing retreats and helping people in 2010. It's probably somewhere around 2008. And people were coming to me for help, and friends were getting help, and they were telling friends. And I didn't have the systems and processes we have now, but I was figuring stuff out. And I was asked to help start a coaching division at a counseling agency, big counseling agency, tons of counselors, and they were trying to get into coaching. So me and this other guy were going to start it up. And this true story. We would gather for the monthly staff meetings. 3 hours of the most disorganized, annoying, insane, doesn't matter, inconsequential information. In fact, it was so terrible. Like I can sit through things and receive. Like I'm a hungry guy. I can show up and go, okay, what's the food I can get here? What's the food? Eat the meat, spit out the bone. I'm sitting there and it's so painful. Truly. It's so disorganized, so poorly led. There's no clear vision. There's a lot of reactive. What do you want? What do you want? Just trying to appease. Anyway, go on and on. I had to quit. Now, thankfully I did. I don't believe I'd have been there very long. There were other reasons I stepped away, but it was awful. And I think one of the things that people don't realize is how much corporate life is LARPing, live action role playing. We're not really affecting change. We're not really changing lives. I mean, AI is about to disrupt completely so much of the things that we think are work that are just really shuffling decks and emails. And I think what's crazy to me is in the context of this show, they showed just the silliness of how so much of the conversations and the training is stupid and wasted and not effective. It either changes your life or it doesn't. And what's interesting to me about the show is they actually said this. I heard some of the producers talking about it, that there are so many zany things that happen that they would actually have to put him in boring meetings for a couple hours just to make it feel like real life. So he wouldn't catch on to it's a show. Like, doesn't that upset you? That's how they're thinking about making his reality be so deceptive that he can't catch on to this idea that this is a show. We need to put him in spaces where he's bored because that's what real life is. And you want to know this. You want to know why your company needs a retreat and why that retreat ends up being so much dumb theater, performative theater. Because the ingrained patterns of the organization, people are learning to prove, like Dougie, and hide, like the guy who proposed, Kevin. And we keep on running on this treadmill of another HR workshop on why you can't say Merry Christmas in this company. True story from somebody I heard. Whatever. I mean, who cares? It's just so much dumb stuff. And for me, we get this question a lot working with organizations like, why are my best people leaving? Why are the worst people staying? It's the environment you're building. It's the environment you're building. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens to Anthony over the course of the progression of these episodes. How is he going to change being there in this room, in this environment, at this place? Because something is going to shape and affect him in some way. Without awareness, he could very easily get caught into the moments of leading for validation, proving and hiding. What's so powerful about this awareness is understanding that, so many leaders are trying to do the best they can with what they have. But if you really pay attention to it, like, when you're watching a TV show or a movie and it's a B or a C level film and they don't edit the right moments out, and it just feels fake, right? It doesn't feel real. When you hear somebody talking and it's almost like they're talking out of anxiety or insecurity, it doesn't feel real. And you also know when you're in these corporate environments where it just doesn't feel real. So here's the way I would say for you, like you want to become ever more professional as a company without becoming corporate. So we want to train, we want to develop people, but let's do things that are life-changing. Let's not do cheesy wastes of time that are stupid, that we have to make Anthony think this is not a zany TV show because we're going to bore him, because that's what makes it feel like real life. So what are we actually retreating from? Are we going to retreat and pull away and pattern interrupt and stop living into these patterns, like Dougie of proving, like Kevin of hiding, or are we just going to keep on the treadmill and we just do the performative theater? So my hope for you, as we dive into the rest of this show, watch for those moments, because it'll train your awareness. When you start to see the ways that people overdo or underdo what the moment needs, they power up, they try to take control, they hide, they diminish, they pull back, all missing what it means to actually be a leader, to lead for impact, not validation. All right, my friends. So glad you're here. So what we want to do is make space for questions you might have regarding what I just walked through. Maybe you want to tell me about your favorite moment from the show, what stood out to you, or just wide open questions in the chat for something that you're wondering about in your leadership journey. And of course, always, to get us kicked off, if you want to throw in a comment about what stood out the most to you today, love to hear that. I'm going to open my yogurt and we're going to do a little lunch with Chris. Porcupine. Yeah, so I don't remember the porcupine moment, and someone referenced it. Mark, do you remember it?
It was their safe word after their sexual harassment training.
So Mark's here. He just informed me it was their safe word after the sexual harassment training. So good it writes itself. I mean, if you haven't been through some of these things and the stories I've heard from companies and the trainings that they've spent over 6 figures for, the one we were talking about at the barbecue restaurant with our buddy, I can't even say it because YouTube will flag this video and they'll violate some kind of community guideline. It was that insane of a video training course. Yeah, porcupine. That's great. Love it. Love it. All right. Any other moments stand out today or questions you want to ask? Get a bite of yogurt. So here's what I want you to get ready for. If you want to take this journey with us, watch the next batch of episodes as they drop. I'm going to pull out the moments from that. And then we're going to do something fun next week. So I don't know if you've seen that video with the McDonald's CEO that went viral where he's eating his own product and he takes a little bite. He's like, the mouthfeel of this, like you would describe a Big Mac like a bottle of wine. So next week, live and on air, our leadership team is going to be together, and I'm going to eat our product live and on air and have some fun with that. So you got to show up, see what that's about. But here's the thing, if I could close today this way with you. Someone on your team this week is going to show up in a moment of insecurity. They're going to overdo or underdo a moment. And you're not in a TV show. It's real life. And in the real life moment of that, may you be the kind of leader who leads for impact, not validation, and helps take people somewhere that isn't boring, that isn't overly cartoonish or zany or performative, not dumb theater, but real leadership that changes lives. I hope you join us back for next week's Lunch with Chris. Thanks for being here. Peace, everybody.